It's Tuesday, July 22nd, and welcome to your source of comic book news and culture. It's Tuesday, and that means it's time for your quick dose of comic knowledge that you'll need before stepping into your comic shop on Wednesday. Up first, here's a rundown with what you can expect to find in shops this week, and I'll be back with our pick of the week. Now, at the risk of being exposed as Mark Millar fanboys, our pick of the week is again by this summer's seemingly most prolific writer. War Heroes is Millar's latest big concept book, taking its cues from both the world around us and being a natural extension of the themes that Millar and Hitch explored during their tenure on the Ultimates. Millar this time teams up with Tony Harris to tell of an America at war. But not exactly our America. You see, there's a war in the Middle East, and it's expanding, and it's not going very well. Morale and recruitment are at an all-time low, but as usual, Uncle Sam comes up with a very clever little incentive. Join the army and gain superpowers. Literally. While we're a little concerned Millar may play up his politics very broad, again, go see Volume 2 of The Ultimates for that, the concept is way too good to pass up. If The Ultimates was Millar's return to widescreen storytelling and he's telling everyone this is his Ultimates 3, well then War Hero looks to be the unfilmable big-budget war movie of the summer.
Hi, I'm Nick, and here are your headlines for Wednesday, July 22nd, 2008. Of course, the big news that dominated this weekend was the release of The Dark Knight. The follow-up to 2005's Batman Begins was hyped big, and I mean big. Much like a lot of things about this movie, Warner Brothers tried something new. A huge viral marketing campaign started last summer at Comic-Con and continued through to last week's opening. And it would appear all of the promotion and viral campaigning has paid off. And here's Eddie to fill us in on exactly how well it has paid off for Warner Brothers.
Thanks, Nick. It's an understatement to say that The Dark Knight opened big. It opened to record-breaking numbers. First off, it opened the most screens ever on a total of 4,366 screens, which topped the previous largest opening of Spider-Man 3. It also achieved a record-breaking first day, thanks in part to the virtual all-night screenings that popped up all over the country. Most huge event movies will open with a midnight screening, which The Dark Knight did, easily beating the previous record holder, Revenge of the Sith, for an 18.5 million premiere. But it also had a 3 a.m., 6 a.m., and 10 a.m. screenings. It's safe to say that The Dark Knight has been playing almost non-stop since it opened at midnight. And what does it have to show for it? A record 67.85 million on its opening day. Again, it beat out Spider-Man 3, which held the previous record, which was 59.8 million for Friday. Guess those late night showings made the difference. Now, to put this into perspective, Batman Begins only made 48 million for the entire first weekend. The Dark Knight behemoth continued its box office rampage through the weekend with an estimated 155.3 million take for its first 3 days of release. Like Nick said earlier, maybe it's not surprising given the months of viral campaigning or the near universal positive reviews, but it's still an impressive number. It'll be interesting to see how well it performs next weekend, but we're expecting a lot of repeat viewings. And its viral marketing campaign isn't the only thing innovative about The Dark Knight. Director Christopher Nolan also shot 6 sequences of the film in IMAX, and it's no coincidence that virtually every IMAX screening this weekend have sold out, with some theaters selling out for the weekend before Friday. Again, it would appear a smart move, as The Dark Knight 6.7 million from IMAX screens, the highest ever, and again beating Spider-Man 3's previous 4.7 million. And if that wasn't enough, The Dark Knight also opened with the first teaser trailer for next spring's Watchmen adaptation. Featuring some impressive visuals, the teaser seemed to lift shots right off the pages of the comic. And fans noticed. The Watchmen trade collection shot the #3 spot for all fiction books on Amazon. That's all books, not just comics, before it sold out this weekend. So it looks like DC may have a chance to repeat the success of Dark Knight next year. So the movie opened big. What did we think? Check out our summer movie special later this week where we'll all try to express how we all felt about The Dark Knight. Back to you, Nick.
Thanks, Eddie. I so cannot wait to shoot that discussion. Okay, so it's not just Dark Knight news this week. The San Diego Comic-Con starts on Thursday, but if you don't already have your tickets, well, you're out of luck. By middle of last week, Comic-Con officials were reporting that they had completely sold out the entire weekend. The weekend passes sold out early, so the sellout was expected. And given the sellout, expect us to begin reporting about record attendance next week. On to more news, but let's do it bullet point style. In more movie news, Matt Fraction reported optioning both Casanova and Last of the Independents. A right-wing Christian group in the UK has decried the upcoming release of a Black Canary Barbie, labeling it as filth. Guess religious crazies are a universal phenomenon and forgot that this type of outrage just tends to further promote what they want to stop. The Greatest American Hero is set to make a comeback. Look for an announcement at Comic-Con. Want more excuses for why All-Star Batman and Robin is late? Check out the E3 trailer from the upcoming DC Universe game. Remember, he's busy drawing, just not busy drawing comics. And finally, Frank Miller wants fans to know that his upcoming Spirit movie isn't just Sin City 2. They are fundamentally different, but both inspired from, quote, the lessons learned from Will Eisner, the use of black and white, and certainly the rapturous approach to women. So remember, kids, the goddamn Spirit is nothing like Sin City. Okay, we'll be back next week with more Comic-Con news than we can fit into the show. But up next is some first looks at comics set to ship this week.
So me and Lewis are on camera, and that could only mean one possible thing.
We're gonna do bungee jumping, CG green screen backdrop, bungee jump off a fake cliff.
No.
Okay.
First looks is what we're looking at, and I've started off with Ultimate X-Men number 96, which is the big drug user comic that's going on right now.
Oh, really?
Everybody's on drugs. Everybody's on this drug called Banshee because it makes you more of a badass.
Banshee.
Colossus started it, and now we got Scott doing it, and Kurt's doing it, and I think Rogue's doing it, and Jean doesn't want anybody doing it, so she's training the hell out of everybody else. And he's like, stop using the drugs. No, I'm Phoenix. And it's basically what she's doing. And it turns out that Wolverine is Banshee. His genome, his mutant DNA is the basis for the drug. So he tested positive for Banshee, but he doesn't have Banshee. And his big-ass titanium claws, adamantium claws, sorry, don't email me about that, he ripped apart Colossus's skin.
Ooh.
Because he was pissed off. Banshee Rage.
Yeah, that sounds pretty serious. On to the next book, the Milestone Uncanny X-Men 500. With, 4 covers. There's the classic X-Men cover, the Alex Ross cover, and, of course, the Playboy Miss August cover with Rogue and everybody naked. Big things going on here. Not big thing. No, don't expect...
Is that in my box?
I hope so. Don't expect any huge things to happen here. This is basically a setting down the stone of what's going to happen within this whole storyline and the other X books that are, I guess it's going to be another little book tie-in.
Well, it's the reboot point is what I took it as. They're not in Maine. They're in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Hello!
They rebuilt a mansion in San Francisco. Probably not the best place to do it.
Well, it's not more. It's more of a compound now.
Yeah.
It's not so much of a mansion. It's like yes, this is top level, and then below us we have all the top secret rooms.
Yeah. Kind of like the movie was. Kind of like how the movies were. Like that.
But without mansion, just flight deck.
So we got some weird things going on. We've got a new division of the Hellfire cult coming up, and they're gonna start, whacking mutants left and right because that's what the Hellfire cult does.
Because the wings piss them off, apparently.
They do, yeah. Which is kind of weird. I mentioned that because Angel is kind of normal Angel in this book, while he's being Archangel in the X-Force.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the continuity for you. But enough about that. My favorite book, one of my favorite books, The Immortal Iron Fist. A little bit of kung fu for you right there. Great book. Danny Rand, new writer taking over. The guy who's writing Punisher for a while, Dwayne Swarzinski, something very Polish. There you go. Taking over. The mythos that are being added on to the Great Iron Fist legacy are just amazing. It's nothing dumb, nothing very blunderous. There's a lot going on now. Apparently, out of all the 66 Iron Fists there have been, only one has lived past the age of 33. Orson Randall. And Danny Rand is turning 33 in this issue, and some really crazy things are going to go down. Him and Misty are kind of like loving the rocks, like that Neil Diamond song. And it's just, a lot of things are happening in this book. Travel Foreman, thank you for coming onto the book. Beautiful artwork. Beautiful. I mean, look at the cover. Look at the interiors. Love this book. And I thought it was a little scary, with Matt Fraction leaving and Brubaker leaving, but I think it's in very good hands, this book. I mean, you should definitely start picking it up.
So pick up all the books that we just talked about?
Basically, yes.
Yep.
Read all the
Buy
books.
them all.
Read them all.
Buy them all.
Not a bad pick this week.
But, just go to a shop and buy the whole shop.
Yeah.
May as well.
I want to try and do that.
Economy's low, people. We got to save it.
Let's boost it.
Alright, that's it for this week's Variant Edition Tuesday.
Before we go, we'd like to let you know what happened to the second part of episode 76. If you're watching us on YouTube, you've probably already seen it.
Well, that's because the YouTube version is the only version that made it up. We were having an issue uploading it to some of our other services, but with any luck, by the time this show, the one you're watching now, hits online, the other version of 76 will have shown up.
So that's like 2 episodes for you. For once, it's actually not Kevin's fault.
And that, I do believe, is a record. You fans out there who complain about our timeliness, you write this down. You memorize that date.
We talked about our movie special. Keep an eye out for that by the end of the week.
That's right.
It will have our Batman review, plus a look at some of our other comic book movies that came out so far this summer.
Yep. And where can you find other episodes of Variant Edition?
Do tell.
Why, VariantEdition.com, of course. We have links to all the ways you can watch us on VariantEdition.com, including iTunes, YouTube, VO, or our high-res feed from Blip TV, or the really nice broadcast-quality BitTorrent-powered version from Views.
Absolutely. And as usual, Classic Comics in Rahway, New Jersey is still your friendly neighborhood comic shop.
Yep, where we shoot this episode and just about every episode of Variant Edition.
Want to know how you can save up to 20% on your comics like we do? Check out ClassicComics.com for more information about the shop.
All right, that's it for this week.
See you next week. Thank you for saving my ass.
No problem.